friend just shared with me this challenge that Lovable is doing called the AI Showdown. The idea is to test out the different models provided by OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and use Lovable to build something with it. So they have two different challenges. One is the 25K content challenge. Do different tasks. For example, creating a game, they will create it with GPT model, Gemini model, and then Cloud's model. You will be judged based on quality, reach, and depth. I'm not sure if they mean like reach in terms of like the social reach. So for me, as a nobody, I might try to do this 40K build challenge. One of the criteria is really to try to push the limit of what Lovable can build, and has to be built with 90% of prompts. And it's only this weekend. I already done some thinking, or mainly with ChatGPT. I asked like, what's the most successful SaaS out there? The most successful SaaS right now, as in terms of the pure play SaaS, would be Salesforce. That's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to build Salesforce with Lovable. The first step I'm going into is really just to understand the pain point and all that stuff, why people don't like the current solution. If I go on Reddit, there is a post titled as Salesforce sucks. Copy all the content and then paste it in ChatGPT. So the result shows that mainly it's around like the UI, and then they have to force them to click through a lot of screens and all that stuff. And then the UI feels a little clunky, and the data is not very synchronized. So I asked ChatGPT, say like how we can reimagine the interface, especially for Salesforce products. If people hate the current Salesforce CRM UI interface, and why am I trying to duplicate the same UI with Lovable? So I looked up what is the most UI-friendly CRM out there. My goal turned to how can I replicate HubSpot UI. The main features that I want to replicate are the context and deals, which are the two things that I think is the most important things to track in terms of sales cycle. So those two things, I screenshot two of those screens and I gave it to ChatGPT again. And then I told him I want to replicate the UI and help me create the prompts for Lovable to create this. So in the past, when I just tried to do this on its own, then it wouldn't write the right prompts for Lovable. So Lovable actually expects you to write a certain format of prompt, and then you can go onto their website. There's a thing called prompt library. For example, if you have starting project, they have this kind of format. If you want to only change the UI or UX design, you want to use this format. And they ask to get the prompts from this link. So you can see here, it has all the prompts here. Then after that, it has all the context of the prompt. Then that's when I ask this question to replicate the UI. This is the prompt it gives me. And afterwards, I give it to Lovable, and I switch between Cloud, OpenAI, and Google's model. For Cloud, it generated this UI, which looks pretty nice. And you can click to the different pages. Yeah, the functionality is, I guess, in the prompt, I didn't tell it to implement the functionality, so it didn't. Then let's look at the OpenAI UI. So they took a different approach. It's more like a demo where you can see the two different UI. You click into it, where you have a Kanban board for the deals and a table for the context. So they all use the same prompt. And for Google, I use the same prompt. Unfortunately, it didn't build for the first try. So now I'm going to try to fix it by clicking on try to fix. So after clicking on try to fix twice and it fixes the error, you can see that the UI is definitely not what I was looking for and not what CRM will look like. First of all, like the contact doesn't have the table. I would expect some kind of Kanban board or some kind of column. based on the visuals, I personally like Cloud's UI the best. All I have to do is just to pick up the functionality, and then we have a CRM running. And so after it built the initial UI, it suggested I connect with Supabase. So I already have an account, and all I had to do is to click on Connect Supabase, and then there is some credentials set up. Then afterwards, it's connected to my Supabase. And I think this is what's powerful about Lovable, is that you can create all the data and then the data schema right from the Supabase interface, and you can create even the authentication as well. I thought it couldn't do it, but it actually did. I just tell it to start with the authentication. Let's do the authentication, and then it creates the SQL file to create the data necessary for the authentication. And I read through it, and I just click on run. Then it applies those changes to Supabase. This is something that I haven't really experienced with Cursor before, because maybe there's some way, but I didn't know about it. So far, whenever I'm dealing with database schema, I always have to go into the Supabase interface to do some changes, run some SQL script. But in Lovable, it runs everything in here, tested out the logging flow. And then the dashboard, it looks a lot different from what we had yesterday, because I did a lot of changes to it. It was mainly just one step at a time. I look at the UI and compare with HubSpot CRM and see which feature is vital in terms of having a CRM. For me, the CRM I want to build is really mainly to track the contacts and the deals. And those two things are the most important. So I only kept those two things from the HubSpot CRM. And the tables is very straightforward and very simple. Because what I see from most of the reviews about other CRM is that they tend to be very bloated after a while, because they add too many features, add too many functionality. So the first time user, when they log on to the interface, is hard to understand what's going on. So I'm trying to change that. Next, I need to generate the necessary data for the CRM. And so what I did is I took screenshot of the HubSpot CRM and give it to ChatGPT. And with the same method I used before, I give it the link to the prompt guide for Lovable. So it has context of the Lovable prompt and style, and also what the data should be on a CRM like HubSpot. And so I told it I want to replicate HubSpot CRM's UI, and I only want to replicate specifically contacts and deals, and ask it to create a prompt for me. Initially, it gave me this, but I thought I needed to generate some C data or just dummy data, example data for the project. Then I wrote this instead. Then it wrote this whole prompt for me. So what I did is I just copy this prompt and then drop it into Lovable again. You can see here, long prompt, and then it generates this whole SQL script for me. And all I have to do is just to read through it and make sure that nothing too crazy is going on, which it does all of the security things for me. And it probably is more thorough than me and more quicker than me when generating dummy data. So it did all of this. I read through it, and I just have to click on apply. Then it applies the changes to Supabase. So that was pretty cool for me. But a lot of times I run into this thing, error, build unsuccessful. what I need to do is just click into this and click on try to fix. Then I have to wait a little bit more time. And sometimes because it's the free weekend for Lovable and I keep running into they're experiencing heavy traffic and I have to queue in line to have my prompt executed. It kind of reminds me of the early days of Cursor, where I'm always waiting in queue and try to wait for the AI to process my prompt. But eventually I get there. It fixes the error. It doesn't really need a lot of my input to fix the error as well. It just go through it and eventually it fixes the problem by itself. So yeah, there's more errors. So what the good thing is that they have the live preview, so you can also see what's wrong with the live preview and tell it to fix it in plain English. And so yeah, it goes through all of this again to fix it. In here, I just realized that instead of having seed data in the database, I should just have the seed data in the front end so that the new user come in, whenever they're creating new data, they don't have to delete all the mock data or the seed data. Instead, the demo data will only be shown when there are no data. So right now, this is all still the demo data, but if the user adds a new set of data, then this demo data should just disappear, then start fresh from there. And so yeah, like after implementing that, there's more errors. So this is the part of coding that I'm very familiar with. Usually things don't work and then you try to fix it again. But with AI, with Lovable, it feels a lot faster because you're only telling it to fix it. And then if something they cannot figure out or I have to be more specific about it, I can do that as well. So yeah, there was some data missing. I just tell it it's missing. There's error again. Fix the error. Error again. Fix the error. So yeah, it's very close to how the real software development is like back in the days, but it just feels faster because someone else is doing it for you. And I think right now the only limitation is that the queuing and also waiting for the prompt to finish. So those two limitations is the only thing that prevents the whole thing just running by itself. But I think it's a good thing. You don't want the whole thing to run to the end, then you realize it's not what you want. Then it's already too late. It's much harder to fix when it has the whole thing built. So yeah, I had to go through each UI and just kind of click onto it and then test each of them and see if the UI would respond the way I expected. And if it doesn't, then I tell it to implement that functionality. And usually if I just say things like, allow the context to be selected, and then the user can take action on it when they select it, then it pretty much just understands that, and then I can do those actions, so it understands the prompt pretty well, even if it's just like a really short prompt.